Hello, nerds. Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your week in Nerdom for March 12th, 2019. In this episode, we are talking about Captain Marvel's unexpected box office, more Suicide Squad rumors, and a Batwoman update, plus so much more. So let's hit the intro real quick. Housekeeping before we get into the news. As per usual, we're going to get a detailed, spoilerific Captain Marvel review. Probably tomorrow is when it will go up. So you can look forward to that. You can come back and we will be talking all about the Captain Marvels. We're specifically about the movie. The topic that we're covering today is a little more meta. Also in the works right now is another microphone review. We're gearing up for Shazam over on Big Show and Avengers. Don't know if I'll do a proper nerdy review for both of those movies, but we'll definitely be doing the Big Show reviews for those, so you will be able to catch all of that over on the Big Show Entertainment Network. But that being said, let's get into the news. And once again, because you are watching right here on Generally Nerdy, there are more bits than what you would catch over on Big Show, or even if you're coming from the podcast realm, the Comic Talk Today podcast, there are more bits here than on there as well. So let's jump right into it, starting just like we always do with the Nerdy Update is music. And we have two pieces of music news this episode. First of which being an interesting update for those of you who were into the nu metal era of the heavy musics, or kind of post nu metal. Stateside might be putting out new music in 2020 before going on stage on the 9th, so just a few days ago. Aaron Lewis teased that we might be hearing new music from Stateside, and not just that, there might be a tour or at least some live shows in the works for the end of this year. Next is an update from Tool. We talked about them a couple weeks ago, talking about them again because we got tour dates from them in the last couple of days. The tour dates take place entirely in the month of May, but that could mean we're going to be seeing the new album likely in the month of May, because those are the only dates that they're going to be on tour, so it would make sense if they're supporting a new record that they would be on tour, which also aligns with the last bit of news that we talked about around this, which was Maynard taking to Twitter saying that we will likely see a new Tool record sometime between mid-May and mid-July. Seems more towards the May side of that spectrum, though. Let's jump into TV news, and first we are talking Batwoman. Executive producer Sarah Schecter told The Wrap that Batman, as far as the Batwoman series is concerned, is, quote, off limits for the foreseeable future, unquote. So it would seem they're going to be treating the Caped Crusader much like they do over on the Titans series on the DC Universe app, by mentioning him and then avoiding showing him at all costs. Schecter also spoke on the situation in her version of the fictional city that causes a need for Batwoman to exist, and it seems that in their version of the story, Batman has gone missing in action for approximately 3 years. Whether or not this is a voluntary missing in action, or if he's been disposed of by a villain, is kind of unclear, though either way kind of seems interesting, and we will just have to wait and see how it plays out. Next, Terry Gilliam fans rejoice. Time Bandits, one of the filmmaker's more notable movies, is getting its own TV series. or at least a pilot. The pilot is set to go over to Apple and is going to be helmed by Taika Waititi, who will be the writer and director for the pilot. Set to executive produce is Terry Gilliam himself, as well as Taika Waititi, and they will be joined by Dan Halstead. So that does it for TV news. Now we're going to kick over to movie news, and first we're talking about Captain Marvel, who is proving that a boycott from a small faction of internet haters is not enough to stop the Disney machine. Brie Larson, it would seem, is taking this movie pretty far past expectations, coming in at $455 million opening weekend worldwide. Captain Marvel is officially the second largest opening weekend for a superhero movie ever. That's how we've got there. Next up, Fox is adapting Eisner Award-winning comic book Mouse Guard into a movie, and they have cast Andy Serkis and Thomas Brody Sangster to be two of the leads in the movie. If you don't know who Andy Serkis is, then you likely live under a rock, and I would like to welcome you into the 21st century, especially 21st century nerd culture. However, Thomas Brody Sangster likely is not a household name. So, if you don't know who he is, you will know that he was Peter Pan in the TV series Once Upon a Time. He also played Liam Neeson's son in Love Actually. In the movie, Serkis will be playing Midnight, the villain of the story, and Brody Sangster will be playing Liam, who is a new young member of the Mouse Guard. And our final bit of news in movies is from Collider. They are reporting that the rest of the roster of would-be villains turned reluctant heroes over on the Suicide Squad reboot movie, helmed by James Gunn, has been released. And reportedly, the characters that are going to be joining Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Idris Elba as Deadshot are as follows. We have Ratcheter, King Shark, Mr. Polka Dot, and Peacemaker. Casting for them has not been officially announced just yet, though rumor has it that Dave Bautista, who plays Drax over on Guardians of the Galaxy, and is a WWE superstar, he is being eyed to play the Peacemaker. And now, nerds, we're talking gaming. Gaming and comic books are going to be pretty quick this week because I only have one bit for each of them, but we are doing gaming, and it's another Apex leak. I thought we were going to be talking about Mortal Kombat every episode until the game came out, but it seems this time, because we don't have another combat cast to go over, and we had the in-depth video if you want to check the link there, there's not a whole lot of Mortal Kombat news, and I was kind of shocked by that, but it happened. So we're talking Apex, and it seems there are leaks just about every 3 or 4 days over in the Apex camp, and this one is interesting in that it seems we're going to be getting rocket launchers in Apex Legends with the potential of solo mode over in Apex Legends. The news of rocket launchers as an FPS player kind of has me cringing a little bit. I just have flashbacks from Halo 2 Online where you're playing rocket launchers, and it's just... Hopefully they can get the dynamics for that weapon much better than they ever did over at Bungie. And then our final section, as stated just a moment ago, is comic books, and we only have, again, one bit of comic book news. There's plenty going on. It's just... In order to talk about some of the news, then we have to get into reviews, and with the new format, that's just not the way it works. I will try and get those reviews going here soon. It's just been a crazy few weeks as far as my professional life goes, so hasn't quite happened yet. But there is going to be a Dark Horse comic based on the Fox series, The Orville. The book will start July 17th and will take place in the space between the end of Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2. It is set to be a 4-book arc, and in those 4 books is going to contain the approximation of 2 full episodes for the series. So each book is going to be a half an episode, and I'm really interested because there's not a bunch of time between the two seasons, but there is some time, so I'm very interested to see what happens between the two seasons. And that, guys, is the end of your week in Nerdom for today. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. What did I miss? What should we talk about at the end of the week? Let me know in the comments down low. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, there is a website, generallynerdy.net. That is the place to get all of the freebies. I am still working on writing pieces for the blog, aside from just linking to the videos, but you have the links to the social media accounts, which are actually quite active. Also links to the general store, so you can get your nerdy swag, and a link to the Patreon, or you can just go directly to the Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. There is even more content up there, which I am focusing on even more than the freebie stuff over on the website. So check out patreon.com/generallynerdy. There are 5 tiers. You know how Patreon works, so go check it out and support the channel that way. If you are new to the channel, then definitely click the subscribe button. If you like these episodes, click the like button. If you like what I'm trying to do here, then that's what that like button's for. If you dislike it, there's a dislike button too. Nobody's gonna be hating on you. But before we do all of those things and click buttons and visit websites, guys, then please always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.